Greetings, X fans, it's Brad, and welcome back to the show. As always, I just want to say thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you like my videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you can stay notified of my latest videos. Videos just like this one where we're going to be taking a look at this Cyclops Resin Bust from Diamond Select Toys based on the X-Men animated series. But before we jump into the review, let's take a look back at the history of the X-Men in animation. In 1966, the Marvel superhero show premiered as a series of cartoon shorts, starring Marvel's biggest comic book stars of the era: Tony Stark as Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, the Mighty Thor, Steve Rogers as Captain America, and, of course, Prince Namor, the Submariner. Who'd you think I was gonna say, the X-Men? In the episode Dr. Doomsday, the X-Men team would co-star, making this their official debut in animation. Yikes. It would be another 16 years before fans would see another X-Men cartoon. Fast forward to the early 1980s. On the popular series Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, the X-Men team would be guest stars in 3 episodes: The Origin of Iceman, A Star is Born, and The X-Men Adventure. In 1988, the Marvel Action Universe debuted as a syndicated block of various animated programs from Marvel Productions. In 1989, a pilot called Pride of the X-Men originally broadcast as part of that Marvel television block. Although the pilot wasn't picked up, it would eventually be released on video cassette, as well as becoming the basis for the now classic Konami X-Men arcade game. 3 years later, on October 31st, 1992, X-Men the Animated Series premiered on the Fox Kids Saturday morning lineup. It would continue to endure for a total of 5 seasons, finally ending its run on September 20th, 1997. The success of the show finally earned the X-Men characters their proper place in animation history. The X-Men team roster consisted of Storm, Rogue, Jean Grey, Jubilee, Gambit, the Beast, Professor X, Wolverine, and the feature team player of this episode, Cyclops. Now, before we get started, I'd just like to say thank you to the fine folks over at Diamond Select Toys for sending me this Cyclops bust so I can feature it here for you on the channel. So here's a close-up look at the box design. So as you can see, Diamond Select has designed some amazing packaging artwork for this bust. The top of the box features the animated series logo. One of the side panels of the box shows off some amazing artwork of Cyclops in his animated form. And the other side panel contains some animated portraits of Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Gambit, as well as showing off some bright, colorful X logos. And there is some information on the bottom of the box, but more on that in a bit. Now, while I'm unpacking Cyclops from a styrofoam here, you watch this, and I'll be right back. Cyclops' origins were first chronicled on the series in the Season 2 episode, Orphan's End. Scott Summers was the first of 2 sons born to Major Christopher Summers, test pilot for the U.S. Air Force, and his wife, Catherine. Christopher was flying his family home from vacation when their plane started to crash. To save their lives, Christopher and Catherine pushed Scott and his brother Alex out of the plane with the only available parachutes. With their parents presumed dead, the 2 boys were placed in an orphanage. As a teenager, Scott's mutant power first erupted from his eyes as an uncontrollable optic force. Scott's display of power attracted the attention of the mutant telepath, Professor Charles Xavier, who enlisted him as the first member of the X-Men, a team of young mutants who trained to use their powers in the fight for human-mutant equality. So here we have Cyclops out of his packaging. Each bust comes packaged with a certificate of authenticity. According to the COA, the resin bust of Cyclops was designed by Barry Bradfield and sculpted by Varner Studios. The card also states that Diamond Select limited the production run to 3,000 pieces, and this bust in particular is number 300 of 3,000. I'm happy to see that low number because personally I prefer low production numbers when it comes to my limited issue collectibles. You can also find the production number on the bottom of the box, and it is also located on the bottom of the bust itself. So, my first impression of the bust, he looks awesome. One of the first things that grabs my attention about this bust is that striking action pose. It really does bring the sculpted figure to life. And speaking of sculpting, the sculpt work on this bust is second to none. In fact, I would say that this is the most show-accurate piece of Cyclops merchandise to date. I especially love how they sculpted that small flash of his optic energy blast surging from the corner of his visor. That is a very nice touch that breathes even more life into the small sculpted piece. Probably the strongest aspect of this piece is the cel-shaded paint application. The combination of the brightly painted colors works very well in conjunction with the detailed black line work that has been painted on this bust. The result is what can only be described as a real-life, three-dimensional sculpture of an animation cell from the X-Men series. So there you have it, one-man fans, a final look at the Cyclops Resin Bust from Diamond Select Toys. Retailing at $59.99, this bust would make a fine addition to any X-Fans collection. As of this video's publication, this Cyclops bust is still available at DiamondSelectToys.com as well as other online retailers. Personally, I would encourage you to support your local comic shops where most DST products are sold. Shout out to my local comic shop, Excalibur Comics Cards and Games in Shreveport, Louisiana. Gotta run, everyone, but we'll see you next time, right here on the One Man Toy Show.